TP and Big T.
What's happening, everybody? And once again, it's time for At Home with the Crossover. And I'm your man, Big T, alongside the full cast of characters. Man, we got, man, the Tunnel Crew is swole up tonight. We're going to start with the First Lady, the Queen, the Doctor. She's in the house. She also goes by Mama, none other than TP is who I'm talking about. TP, what's up?
Blessings, everyone. Blessings.
And then we got the man that's holding things down as usual, bringing the Ag swag to the show. We talking about none other than Aggie P. What's going on, Aggie P?
Big T, glad to be in the house, brother. Aggie pride all day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then Ray Charles, as usual, holding things down for us, keeping us on time, keeping us on track with those breaks and everything. We talking about radar.
Let me tell you something. Narrow is the way when those Aggies try to get in the way of me having a good show. All right, Big T. What's up, Tunnel Crew?
I tell you what.
It's on.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
And then we got the man that's holding things down in the digital world. He keeps us on track with the commercial breaks and all that stuff. We talk about Birdman is in the house.
Thank you. I'm humbled, blessed to be here.
All right. Hey, hey, I like that right there. And then we got intern Isaac, aka Stats, our numbers guy, a baseball guy. As you can see, if you online and you're watching, you can see his little baseball figure collection. Stats, what's going on, man?
Stats is back and baseball's back.
I know that makes you happy. And then we got our man, Rooftop, the man he's been coaching high school basketball. He's been taking tests and doing all kind of stuff, but he's now with the Tunnel Crew. Roof, what's up?
The roof is in the house.
There we go. People been waiting to hear that, man. The roof is in the house. And we are the Tunnel Crew, watching everything that happens inside and outside the tunnel, leading to the lines of competition in the world of sports. Oh, and I forgot my man, Bro Mel. Bro Mel, I'm sorry, man. Please forgive me. Bro Mel is in the house. Bro Mel, what's going on?
Hey, it's glad to be here again. Praise the Lord. Just another day that the Lord has made.
Hey, Bro Mel, count that to my head and not my heart, man. I totally missed you. All right, but like I said, together we are the Tunnel Crew, and we're here to bring you all the happenings in the sports world. And we start like we normally do with the hot topics. The hottest stories in sports may not be what everybody else is talking about, but it's the things we want to talk about. And of course, we lead off tonight with nothing more than the NCAA tournament, because we talking about upsets, and more upsets. Coach K said before the tournament, there was a quote by him that said, "This is going to be the wildest tournament ever." That's what he said. Because of COVID and all that stuff, well, he looks like a prophet, because it has been one wild tournament. You've had the most upsets ever in a tournament, in terms of, Vegas said, in terms of I hate to say odds, but in terms of the odds, the favorites losing, this is the most upsets you've ever had in a tournament. And you got a lot of high seeds that moved on to the Sweet 16. You've got number 15, Oral Roberts, number 12, Oregon State, number 11, Syracuse, number 11, UCLA, and a couple of other mentionables real quick before I toss this out to the Tunnel Crew. The state of North Carolina was 0-3, gone in the first round. Okay, that's the first time since 1979 there hasn't been a North Carolina school moving on to the Sweet 16. Not only did they not get to the Sweet 16, they didn't make the second round, gone in the first round. And then you had also 1979, first time since 1979, no Duke, no Carolina, no Kentucky in the Sweet 16. At least one of those three teams that made it to the Sweet 16 every year since 1979. That streak is over. And the Big Ten had the most teams in the tournament. They had 9, but only got one in the Sweet 16. 8 of those bad boys got knocked out. Most of them were high seeds. You had Illinois as the number 1 seed, Iowa was the number 2 seed, Ohio State was a number 2 seed, and Purdue was a number 4 seed. So I'm getting ready to toss it out to the tunnel crew. What do y'all think about all these upsets, all this craziness? They call it, the madness for a reason. Give me your thoughts. Matter of fact, I know Ruth, man, this is your time. I know Bro Mel, y'all college basketball gurus and everything. So jump on out there and tell us what's up.
Well, Big T, it's no surprise. A lot of these mid-major schools like Chicago, Loyola of Chicago and Oral Roberts, those schools have been playing great ball all season.
Yes.
And you take conference like the ACC. I said it 2 years ago. The ACC was in trouble. They're one of the weakest conference, I think, in America right now, simply because of the one and done. And it's affecting Carolina, Duke, and it's gonna affect Virginia sooner or later, especially with this transferring rule that they putting in place. But as far as the upsets, I am predicting a mid-major to win the championship.
Whoa!
Yes, I am.
What?
I got 2. Yes, I have 2 in mind.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hey, that's bold right there.
Yes, I don't mind giving you my prediction. I'm predicting that that Gonzaga or either Loyola of Chicago gonna win. And the reason why I say that and support it is because I think Loyola have the better chance to win it all simply because of their offense. They execute well on the offensive end. That coach won't be there long. This will be his last year. Somebody gonna have to move out the way for this.
Now hold on. I gotta jump in real quick. I can't give you credit for Gonzaga. I know they're in the West Coast Conference. I know that's not a major conference. I can't give you credit for them. Hey, Bro Mel, Aggie P, GP, Radar, can we give him credit for Gonzaga?
No, you can't give them credit but the thing about it, you gotta know that they're playing good teams though. They playing some powerful teams during the regular season, but the conference they in, they'll win it every single time. You know.
Yeah.
And like Rooftop was saying, I would think the Loyola Chicago. Hey man, that's a veteran team, man. When you keep guys around 3 to 4 years and they play together, you're gonna get that at the end. ACC, I was looking at the game with ACC, they don't play physical.
Yeah.
When they don't play physical and you get NCAA and they start to knock you around, you ain't accustomed to that.
Yeah.
And that's what's knocking them out, man. They got teams that playing physical and they don't call physical ball in the ACC. They call it a touch foul.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least they got 2 teams in the Sweet 16. That's more than we can say for the Big Ten that only got 1 and they had the most teams. So, hey.
They won't be that long. They won't be that long, Big T.
So
and like I was saying, Loyola of Chicago and Gonzaga, you watch those teams, they execute on both ends of the court. And when you start looking at balance, at not turning the ball over, this game is going to come down to 2 things. That's free throws and who execute better on the offensive end. If you can make free throws and be able to execute, you're going to win this championship. And right now, those 2 programs are at the top of the list if you start looking at the stats.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, we got more of that to talk about on the other side of the break, but we're going to take our first break. And when we come back, we'll give you more of At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, The Joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service, independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.insurvice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover, and be sure to catch this At Home edition each and every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. while the pandemic is going on. You can watch the Tunnel Crew on Love and Faith Radio on our YouTube channel at Love and Faith Radio, and then make sure to like, share, and subscribe once you get there. Then Thursday nights at 7 p.m., catch the audio version on the radio of the original Crossover Sports Show. And you can listen to that edition online at WLJFradio.com. You can also catch that show on our app. It's the Love and Faith 100.7 WLJF app. And it is available both in Google Play and in the iTunes store. So catch both of those editions of the Crossover each and every week. All right, back to our hot topics. And real quick, a couple of mentions to go along with what we talked about in the opening segment. North Texas won. They were a little guy that won. That was the first time they've ever won a tournament game. I don't think they've been Division I that long, maybe 5 or 6 years, something like that. But yeah, they got a win. And a couple of those guys snapped some streaks, you know. I mean, looking at the list here, you've got I think where are my streaks here? Oral Roberts hadn't won in 47 years. And now they're on to the Sweet 16. Oregon State hadn't won in 39 years. And Rutgers, number 10 Rutgers, hadn't won in 38 years. So these are some streak busters. Tell you, COVID. Yes, sir.
Don't forget about Drake. I don't think they had won a game in a long time either.
Okay,
Drake.
yeah. See, I forgot about them. Hey, thank you for reminding me about Drake stats. Hey, that's why we call you Stats. So yeah, it was crazy. And then COVID did rear its ugly head. VCU Oregon game, you know, it was declared a no contest by the NCAA, resulting in Oregon automatically moving on, which, you know, we had wondered what was going to happen if somebody came up positive. Question I want to throw out there real quick to the Tunnel Crew. What's going to happen if that happens on Monday night, the championship game? Let's say you've got Gonzaga and Houston. I'm just going to say those two. I'm just going to throw them out there. And Gonzaga has positive tests. Now, it's the last game of the season. Do you think they'll, no contest, Houston, you the champ, or you think they'll put it off for a week? Throwing that out there.
There's
no way. No way.
You know, I think the rules are the rules. If they come down with COVID, whoever the team is that's in there, if Houston in there, Houston wins the championship.
Wow. Say if it's good for Oregon and VCU, huh?
That's right. Those are the rules.
Yeah, if that's the rules, then you have to go by it. It won't be a lot of happy campers, but you got to follow the rules that you put in place.
Wow.
So, hey, they're
You know
gonna lose a lot of money.
But you know what? A&T had to do the same thing.
Yeah.
A&T had to follow the rules when they came to coach. Duke had to follow them. So if that's what it is, that's what it is.
Wow. So boy, there'll be a lot of angry people.
Hey, they'll get over it, Big T.
Say they'll get over it.
Yeah.
Big
Hey,
T.
Yes.
We might get to the Final Four, and then they might have a team automatically advance to the championship.
Yeah.
You never know.
Hey, that's true. You could have somebody catch it in the Final Four, and they say, well, y'all in the championship game, the other team. So wow, man. All right, well,
I was gonna say real quick.
Yes, go ahead, TP.
I know this might be on your hot topic. But speaking for all the women, I'm hoping that all the men supported the women when it came time for the weight room and everything else. That shows the inequalities that we are still fighting for as women.
Yep.
So,
and that was
I want to put that out there because I know that men have daughters.
Yep.
Particularly one that's on our panel. So Radar.
That's right.
So, I'm just saying, it's a shame that we have to fight even for the NCAA because who do they report to?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that out there for the ladies and to bring a lot of awareness because not only did Don Staley bring awareness to that, but also Charlotte Smith.
And the NCAA talking about, we're going to investigate. They talk about, we need to look into this. Go ahead, Radar.
And thank you, TP, for pointing that out. For that, I have a daughter that plays, basketball. Thank you so much for reminding me of that, first and foremost. And secondly, I want to point out the fact that I've been keeping up with the women's NCAA AA bracket. Somebody hasn't been helping me out and pulling their weight. I'm not going to name no names.
Oh Lord.
That's all I'm gonna say, Rooftop and Bro Mello.
Okay.
Well, hey, we're gonna talk some more about the tournament in a minute because we got a story that's hot off the press that's going to lead to our question of the day. Real quick, I want to get some of these other stories out the way from other sports and move to the NBA real quick. There was 2 devastating injuries that took place last week. Y'all know we talked about our guy, LaMelo Ball from the Hornets. He's been balling out. He was the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year. I mean, think about that. The Hornets was going to have Rookie of the Year, and but they played the Lakers last week. He and LeBron James put on a show. Ball had 26 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. LeBron James scored 37 points, had 8 rebounds, 6 assists. And then a couple of days later, I think 2 days later, both of them, LaMelo Ball fractured his wrist, out for the season. LeBron James, high ankle sprain, out indefinitely, and they're saying it's going to be several weeks. AD still out with his high ankle sprain, And remember, we talked about that. We talked about how much they played in the summer and how much of a toll it was going to take on their body coming back on short rest. Hey, y'all, I'm gonna throw it out there. What do y'all think about that?
Man, well, it's one of those things, especially when like the NBA, the amount of games they play is bound to happen. And I've seen that play on LaMelo Ball, and going in for a layup, and he just when he braced himself, he landed with his hands down on the floor, and he's 19 years old. He's still filling out. So those type of injuries, I done had those type of injuries when you a little thin and you ain't even fully filled out, especially, going in the NBA like that, but he made a big splash, and I think he's going to do good things down the road, but it comes with the best of them. All have those injuries. So we got to see how he's going to bounce back.
Yeah.
I think he'll bounce back, Big T. Being young, that's no problem. I worry about LeBron.
Right.
Yeah.
Now his injury, it don't matter, what injury he gets. It's going to take a period of time before he returns. I can tell you that.
Hey, for those of you who aren't watching us on YouTube, there was a lot of heads nodding when he said, "I worry about LeBron." I mean, there was just about everybody from the Tunnel Crew was like, "Yeah."
Hey, he's the older guy.
Yeah, and you're right, and that's what I was going to say. What Rooftop was talking about, when you get older and you have those injuries, it takes a while for you to bounce back.
Yes.
19, you can bounce back out from 19, but when you get around that, late 20s, early 30s, man, it takes a while.
Dry bones of the valley.
Hey, I know how you feel on them.
I was gonna say that give Melo Ensure a protein shake Let him be out for a little bit. He'll be right back. But with LeBron, the ice, heat, lay down, couple of
Agree with Jesus.
Yeah. Anointing. Hallelujah.
Yep.
He gonna need some stuff.
Oh man. Well, thank y'all for commenting on that and breaking that down. We're gonna jump over to another sport now, and this is one of them uncomfortable topics. You really don't want to have to address it, but it's in the news. Going to the NFL and Deshaun Watson. You know, so the little rumors came out, you know, a little over a week ago that there was 2 people accusing him of sexual, you know, indiscretions and everything. And, you know, since then it ballooned up to 14. And I had already done my research, was ready to go at 14. And before I even got home, there have been 2 more allegations come out. So now it's up to 16 women who have filed civil lawsuits against him for alleged sexual misconduct. And they're all masseuses that he hired off of Instagram. Now, he said COVID was the reason he couldn't get his normal masseuse, you know, his usual masseuse. So he had to go to Instagram on the recommendation of friends and hired these women. And they're coming from all over the country. Some of them, they said, were from California, you know? And so, you know, there have been no criminal charges, all civil so far, but the lawyer for the victims say they do have enough proof that they are gonna start filing some criminal charges. And, you know, Watson denies all charges, said none of it's true. And so we'll see how it plays out. The interesting thing here is we can't get into it because a lot of it is speculation. A lot of it's 2 sides to every story. So we can't speak to anything with 100%. Yeah, he's guilty, or they just lying, because we don't know, you know. But I'm gonna toss it out there. Like I said, it's unfortunate. I'm gonna toss it out there to the crew. Y'all, hey, go ahead and have at it.
Big T.
Yo,
Big T.
Yes.
Okay. Now you said that he wasn't hiring these people to come to his house before COVID, but how old are some of these cases? If the cases are pre-COVID, it proves that he's been doing this for a while. So the proof's in the pudding. I don't know whether he did it or not, like you said, but it is possible that he was doing it, considering there was so many people coming forward. That's the problem. It's 14. You can't say 14 of them are lying.
Hey, 16.
16. There you go.
Hey,
you can't say 16 are lying. At least like 8 are telling
9
the truth.
more, you know?
Right. At least 8 are telling the truth. You know that for a fact, that he's done something wrong. You don't know when it was, but you knew
I disagree with that. I mean, let's look at this thing truth. I mean, you know, the guy's been in the news. He wants to be traded.
Yep.
You know, they want to keep him there. So, I mean, and the man makes good money.
Yep.
So
yeah.
I mean, I can go find you 16 women right now. You gotta get on the phone and say, such and such, if you was making that type money. So, I mean, if it's true, hey, please feel my heart here.
Yeah.
You know, they should convict and do what they need to do. But, I mean, it's speculation. I mean, we really got to look into this. And then the problem that I have is that about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Seattle Seahawks player, I think his girlfriend, I believe, beat his girlfriend or something like that. You haven't heard a thing about it.
Yeah.
Never heard nothing about it? Wow.
Hey, you remember we brought up Von Miller several weeks ago?
Yes.
I didn't hear anybody else mention that story but us. And he was just cleared of those charges, I think, the week before free agency. And I was like, it's kind of amazing that the charges went away right before free agency. And then the Broncos signed him to a new deal. And the general manager saying, yeah, he's going to get back to his all-pro self. But those charges just disappeared. And it seems like sometimes when people like people, you know, they'll cover things up, you know.
Yeah, because you got this brother going against the old boy network, you know, saying he wants to be traded. He bucking the system. You know, they can't control him because he probably will be traded.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, we got to look at this thing, the bigger picture of this thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Radar, jump on in there.
Aggie P said it perfectly. It's all about timing, Stats.
Yeah.
This is real. It's so suspicious.
Yeah.
I found it suspicious. Yeah.
As this comes around, then this comes out.
Yeah.
And my other point is, if I was making as much money as Watson was making, I would let TP give me my massages before I let a stranger give me my massages. And I know she can't give a good back rub, but I know she wouldn't sue.
No, TP.
She might upcharge me, but she wouldn't sue.
Oh man. But hey, I'm gonna add something real quick, because piggybacking off of what Aggie P said, okay. The timing is interesting because you got all these teams that were flocking, calling Houston, saying, hey, we're interested. We want them. Houston said, we're not taking any calls. The Panthers were one of those teams, all right?
Yes.
In fact, David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, said, no matter what, I'm getting Deshaun Watson. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's not an exact quote, but that's what sources have said. He said he's going after him and he's going to stop at nothing to get him. Thing about that is, how did David Tepper get the team? How did he become the owner of the Panthers? Because of Jerry Richardson's alleged indiscretions and things. So now he can't go after this guy, because that's what brought the previous owner down. You know, the fan base would riot, would go crazy. So yeah, timing, like you said, Aggie P. TP, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say now, from my administrative I can tell you this, and y'all probably can agree with some of these facts. You know, let's go back to Tiger Woods. When everything happened with Tiger Woods, I can tell you personally, and I think I've said that to y'all before, that I have a personal, I have a relationship with somebody who works alongside with him personally. And less than half of the women he was accused of being with, less than half was true. So you're talking more than half was false. And so this does not surprise me. Now, I'm not saying that a woman who says this, of course, are going against that. But what I'm telling y'all is, it's, you know, I hate to bring this in, but you know that saying, more money, more problems. And that is really the situation a lot when that comes up. Now, when I say that, like you said, look at Richardson, okay? Look at Michael Jordan. Look at some of your bigger athletes. Look at Magic. So it seems like as the prestige has risen, so has the women risen. And, you know, and different things. You can have proof that this person has been over there, but people won't hear the proof. People will hear that this is now what's going on, who they've been with, and what's going on. And this is not a coincidence. Like you said, it's not a coincidence. So we just have to see what plays out.
Well, hey, Robert Kraft and all these guys, we're starting to learn something here. Stay away from the massage parlors. Stay away from the Instagram masseuses, you know.
And you're right, Big T. That's what I was gonna say too. You have to be smarter than that, you know. And you need to get some references either from your trainers or someone like that. You know, you start going on Instagram, man. You get anything. You know.
That's right.
And so, you know, I'm not saying he did it or not, but when it comes from like 4 people, then it shoots to 16. That don't sound, you know, it don't sound right, you know. But you got to make some good decisions, especially when you got that amount of money that that people look at you because they're looking at the dollars.
Hey, everybody, be sure to catch this at-home edition of The Crossover every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. You can do that on YouTube at our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Once you're there, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and then listen to the original audio version on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. online at WLJFradio.com or on our 100.7 WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have our question of the day.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, The Joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, two locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
100.7 WLJF.
All right, welcome back to this at-home edition of the Crossover, and you can catch us every single Tuesday night at 7 p.m. throughout the duration of this pandemic. And you can do that by going to YouTube and watching our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Once you get there, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. Tell your friends about it. Check us out every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And then on Thursday nights at 7 p.m., you can catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. Listen to that edition online at WLJFradio.com. You can also catch that version of the show on our app, the 100.7 WLJF app, which is available on Google Play and in the iTunes store. So catch us each and every week for both of those editions of the Crossover. All right. We're going to jump back into college basketball because one thing we didn't mention, and we did it purposely, we saved that spanking that happened on Friday night. We told you that the North Carolina schools that were in the tournament only had 3. They went 0-3. They lost all 3 of them lost in the first round. They were gone. It short trip for them. Well, the Tar Heels were one of them. And they got smoked by Wisconsin 85-62. I mean, it was ugly. You know, you want to see a exhibition of perfect team basketball and versus selfish one-on-one, you know, AAU style ball. Then you got a good look at it on Friday night because them Wisconsin boys took Carolina to school. And that's led to some problems down there in Chapel Hill because you had a 5-star super freshman. You know, we saw what Walker Kessler can do in 20 minutes in one game. I think when they beat Louisville, that dude went off for like 20-something points. I mean, he was out there shooting J's, you know, passing the rock, handling the ball, and he's a 7-footer. Okay. So he announced, hey, I'm out, I'm transferring. Said it was strictly a basketball decision. Said he wasn't getting enough playing time. He's only averaging 8 minutes a game. But hey, he had 2 COVID setbacks, and that caused the learning curve for him to be steep. That's probably why he wasn't getting as much playing time. And he was up and down. You know, I mean, he'd have great games like the Louisville game, and then he'd have a game where he didn't do anything. And so then rumors started to spread that Armando Bacot's father was saying, hey, he might transfer. And Caleb Love, who, I mean, I don't know why he's out there talking trash. I mean, this guy jacked up more shots than anybody in the ACC since the 90s and only shot 30-something% from the field, okay? So he shot over 300, had over 300 attempts, only made 30-something% of them. Only made 20% of his 3-pointers. You had the green light. So why are you blaming the team, the staff, and all that stuff for your failures? So his dad is saying, hey, you know, he might get out of there. And And then you got Garrison Brooks, the senior, because I don't know if everybody remembers, they've got this rule where everybody can come back, whether you're a senior or not, because of COVID, you can come back. So Garrison Brooks can come in. He said, I don't know, I might go pro, I might transfer. So it's like, what is going on here? You know, I mean, you've got all this stuff, guys talking about transfer and all this stuff going on, parents getting online on social media saying, sometimes it's not the kids, it's the adults taking an indirect shot at Roy. A lot of people suspect. And so that leads us to our question of the day. You know, are these parents, are these programs responsible for the current state of affairs in college basketball? Because, you know, you got a lot of programs going for the one and done, and that one and done is bringing these parents that are saying, hey, my kids got to get in there and show out, and it's not about team. So I'm gonna throw it out there to the crew. That's the question of the day. Is it the parents? Is it the programs? How they're deciding to recruit and all that stuff? Which one do you think it is? Or do you have another thing that you think it is? So I'm throwing it out there to the crew. Have at it.
Well, I think Big T, that is both are to blame.
Both are to blame.
Simply because when you're going out to recruit these 5-star players, you know, top 50 in the country, and you are recruiting them, and you're telling the parents what is your expectation of their kids playing in the amount of time. You're breaking down that time as you explaining to them what role that kid is going to play on the team.
Yeah.
Well, you know as well as I do, things can change. Kids might look good on film, but once you put them out there on the court, it's a different story. Yeah. Now they, you know, the parents' expectation of their kids playing a certain amount of minutes are especially when you have a mother and a father who think that they're what I call the dinner table coach. Dinner table coaches that know more than the coaches, you know, know more than Roy. Yeah. Now Roy is in trouble because everybody thinks that their baby is the best ball player on the court.
Yeah.
And that's a problem with society now. And kids got the option to jump up and leave and go to other schools. If they don't like what you selling, they'll go somewhere else. And that's the problem that the ACC is having.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know, and I'm like Rooftop with that as well, because you look at it now is that, hey, when I play, it's like you commit to what you're gonna do. You know, you're not gonna quit. I don't, regardless how bad your team is, whatever, you're gonna take it all 4 years. You know, when the NCAA opened it up and saying kids can transfer, then you threw that out. That's a way out. Yeah. You know, everybody want to make the NBA, but everybody can't make the NBA.
That's right.
So you're dealing with that, but you have to know that before you come to that program, like Rooftop said, they're gonna tell you what your role is. Either you're gonna accept that role or you're not gonna accept that role.
Yeah.
And if you accept that role, then you have to know what's going on before you even sign on that dotted line.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, just like you were saying with Love, you know, athlete, yes. Ball player, no. You say why ball player? Because you got to know the game of basketball. Knowing the game of basketball and playing the basketball is totally two different things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what I've seen this year with a lot of top tier players, they don't know the game of basketball.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's looking at the 20-point, 30-point kid that can put it up every night, but you're not looking at the game of basketball, game situation.
Yeah.
How many turnovers he making in game situations?
Yeah.
Things like that that's hurting these kids. So like Rooftop said, it's both his parents and his programs too.
Yeah.
You know.
It is. Yeah.
You know, in Carolina, they just, you know, you gotta know what's gonna happen when you're going into that program.
Well, and the spotlight is on Carolina right now because of all the transfers and their losses so fresh in everybody's memory. But let's not forget, Kentucky had a bunch of, you know, 5-star, all-star freshmen, and they didn't even make the tournament. Didn't even win 10 games. You know what I'm saying? Duke, same situation, had a bunch of high recruits, and they didn't even make the tournament. So the problem seems to be widespread. And that's where you start to wonder what's going on here. Is it, you know, the guys are coming to these schools and not buying in to the team philosophy, it is, hey, I got to get to the pros. Go ahead, Aggie P.
Yeah. Well, I think to sum it up, what both Rooftop and Brother Mel have said, it's a developmental type thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you come in and, you know, your parents and everybody expecting you to come in and be one and done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to develop, those coaches got to develop those players.
Yeah.
That's why, like on the high school level now, a lot of families are reclassing their kids, keeping them out of school so they can come back a little bit more developed. They're both Brother Mel and Rooftop can tell you, now you putting this freshman out on the court, he probably scored 30 points in high school. But just the mental part of it, of walking out when them lights come on, I mean, that's a lot of pressure. And if you haven't developed mentally for that, for the game of basketball, because I know it's true for football too, you're going to be lost. And you can see, you know, and how the guys are playing. I mean, fundamentals. I mean, I think the Wisconsin team, I watched that, man, back doors, bounce passes, layups. I mean, with no massive dunks. I mean, it was fundamental basketball.
They put on
and I think that's just where we at right now, Big T. But the reverse side of everything you're talking about is where we at in America right now as far as sports, but it's helping the schools like the HBCUs. And you got a school like ENT right now, they got more transfers want to come there than they have scholarships of these 4 and 5 star players. So it's not good for the bigger schools. But hey, those players said, look, I'm gonna jump ship. And then you got HBCUs, the other conference, they said, hey, you come here, you gonna play. And now they know they can get to pro day and they can get to the combine and they can get to the next level by playing, you know, at these other schools. So it's bad on one end, but it's good on the other end. So
I want to piggyback on what Aggie P was saying. He was absolutely right. A lot of times, you know, you take these 5-star players coming in, and most of them come in with that mind frame of playing that one-on-one basketball. Everybody want to play like the NBA. And Roy, to me, Roy gonna have to get back to coaching like Roy coach. He's trying to adapt to what the players want, not to what his philosophy is as a coach. And whenever you start losing your own philosophy as a coach, whether you win or lose, you're gonna have some problems, because why? Kids can't buy into what you're trying to do, and you can't buy into what you're trying to do as a coach. You can't change your style. You can't change what you do. You got to put what you know that will work out there, and you got to believe in it. Am I right, Aggie P? Just like in football. You run a play, you run your stuff. This is what you believe in. You know it'll work. And if the kids go out and execute it the right way, you'll be successful if they do it the way that you're telling them to do it. So it's the program and the kids.
I was gonna say I agree, because you know I teach this class, successful coaching, at UNCG, and everything everybody is saying, I totally agree, because that when they talk about the different styles of coaching, one of them is the Bobby Knight style. It's gonna be my way or the highway. The other one, Aggie and Rooftop hit on, which is Roy is doing what the players want. That is the same style that they said Phil Jackson does. Phil Jackson talks to his players and asks them, what do they feel like is best? What do they feel like is this? But it runs into a problem when it comes to parents too, because I don't know a coach that sits down with parents and parents say, my child's better than Michael. My child is better than this one. My child is better than that one. I mean, you had Melo's dad talking about he's better than Michael Jordan. You know when all that stuff started? So I feel like it's the parents as well, because they're going to be like, oh, if my son can't get this time, I'm going to send him over here. I already know what he can do. That's a lot of pressure. And with these players that's at Carolina or any school, let me just say this. I feel like with Carolina, of course, we know they're not playing Carolina ball, but it's not a traditional year.
It's not.
But to me, when you say, hey, I don't like it. I want to get up and leave. I'm like Brother Mel. Where's the commitment?
Yeah. Well, and piggybacking off of something that Rooftop said about Roy and the coaching style. If you look at the way this team was built, they had the three interior post players, and you needed some guards that could feed those guys, that knew how to get them the ball, because that's the strength of your team. Instead, you've got Caleb Love jacking up over 300 shots and only making 30% of them. That's not what you need. So it's almost like, in a way, maybe him leaving might not be a bad thing, as long as, like Rooftop said, Roy takes control of that team and says, look, I'm going to get me a point guard in here that's a facilitator, not so much looking to score a bunch of points, and get those big men to rock,
Well, you're right, Big T, with that too, but a lot of that comes with, and I tell people, they got a good coaching staff, and they do those guys on that team are fundamentally sound. Yeah. But evidently, you recruiting players that knowledge of the game is not there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that, because what I see in college basketball and what I see with Carolina, if you can't make an entry pass, something wrong with that.
I'm with you.
And I see it time and time again. It's basic fundamentals that I see. And Roy, like you said, instead of him yanking them out and talk to him, he leave them in there. And they're not learning. And we didn't have films that we had to watch when we played. You just go play the next game. But, they watching film, and you still in watching film and doing the same thing that you come out there. It's the point is that, you got to start evaluate these people, these players' mental capacity to what you want them to do.
Yeah. Well, you hear a lot of times people talk about the teams from the 70s and 80s would get destroyed by these teams today. And I always say, no, they wouldn't, because they were 1,000 times more fundamentally sound. Hey, Wisconsin is a team from the 70s and 80s, and we saw what they did against an all-star team, I mean, destroyed them, picked them apart. So,
and Big T,
yo, go ahead.
I just want to weigh in one more thing, but I think you're going to see more and more individual performances, maybe one or two players. With your blue blood programs, you're going to start seeing that more and more, where they're winning because of one or two players. I don't really see a lot of team ball in a lot of power schools anymore. Michigan might be an exception. Illinois did play well as a team, but they lost. So I think you're going to see that more with the bigger teams, and the smaller teams, you're going to see them make it further, because they are fundamentally sound, as y'all said before.
But I'm going to say one thing to you, Stats. One thing. I think if that happens, then what Rooftop said is true. You're going to see more mid-majors going out there and going further in the tournament. You're going to start seeing mid-majors in the Final Four. You'll see like 2 mid-majors in the Final Four and 2 blue bloods, because those mid-majors, they stay together 4 years. They fundamentally sound, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be, if everybody else is going to go the route you're saying, then watch out for those mid-majors.
Well, you're probably going to need to watch out for the HBCUs too.
Yes.
So it's coming that way. Players want to play. They're going to go where they style the ball is an up-tempo. Hey, that's where I want to go. And most of the HBCUs are up-tempo, pressure defense. Let's get up and down the court and let's rock and roll.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be real interesting. Hey, everybody, make sure to catch this at-home edition of The Crossover every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. throughout the pandemic. You can go to YouTube, catch us on our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Once you get there, be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. Then you can catch the original audio version of The Crossover every Thursday night at 7 p.m. online at WLJFradio.com. You can also catch that version on the Love and Faith 100.7 WLJF app. It's available both on Google Play and in the iTunes store. When we come back, we're going to wrap this show up, and we'll catch you on the other side with the wrap up.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, The Joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.insurvice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, two locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
It's time now for the crossover wrap-up. Let's send it back to the Tunnel Crew.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. And like you just heard there, it's the wrap up. It's our pick segment. And but before we do that real quick, I just want to mention NBA legend, NBA great, Elgin Baylor passed away yesterday at the age of 86 years old. He averaged 27.4 points per game. That's strong. That's good enough for third all time behind only Wilt Chamberlain and his heiress, Michael Jordan. And then he was an 11-time NBA All-Star and 14 seasons, all with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was a Hall of Fame inductee and spent 22 seasons as the Los Angeles Clippers general manager, earning Executive of the Year in 2005, 2006. So prayers up to Elgin Baylor's family. And 86 years old, he lived a long life and had a lot of success. So prayers to his family, thoughts and prayers go out to them. And just wanted to make sure I mentioned that and got that in before we moved on. All right. Let's go on to, so last week we picked the NCAA tournament and we picked the entire tournament. And so each week we're going to update you on our standings, and that's our picks for each week. But tonight we're going to do something a little different. In addition to our predicted picks, we're going to predict the actual Sweet 16 games. We're going to do it Tunnel Crew style. We're going to go one person to person and let each person have a game until we get our Elite Eight figured out. And then we'll stop it right there. But we'll see how many of us were correct on picking our Sweet 16 teams based on the actual games. So here's the standings from the NCAA tournament. I finished in first place with 31 wins, 17 losses. TP is second with 28 wins, 20 losses. Radar is third with 27 wins, 21 losses. Then we got a three-way tie for fourth place. Our producer, Brother Percy, joined us in this picks in the NCAA tournament bracket. And so him, Birdman, and Bromel finished tied for fourth with a record of 26 and 22. And then tied for last this week is Aggie P and I hate to say it like that, y'all, but Aggie P and Stats, yeah, you finished 500, 24 and 24. So, you know, not
upsets.
Yeah, upsets, yeah. And then for the overall standings, I'm in first place with 57 wins. Radar is next with 54 wins. Aggie P is third with 49 wins. Birdman is next with 48 wins. Stats coming in next with 47 wins. TP next with 46 wins. And then Bromel and Orangeman have combined. We've labeled them as guests. And so their combined record is 35 wins. So they were late to the party, you know, so that's why they don't have as many games as everybody else. But to combine together, those two have 35 wins. All right, let's go ahead and pick the Sweet 16. All right. So what I tried to do was like the tournament and go from top to bottom as far as picking. So me and TP got the easier games because we the number 1 seeds get the 16 seeds. So we got the easier games. Everybody else is gonna go from there. So I got Gonzaga versus Creighton. I'm gonna make it simple. I'm taking Gonzaga. I'm taking the Zags. So now we're gonna move over to TP. She's got Baylor versus Villanova. Go ahead and give us your pick, TP.
I think I picked Baylor.
Okay, so TP is going with Baylor. All right. Radar, you've got USC and Oregon. Give us your winner.
I'm going with Oregon.
Oregon. All right. All right, let's jump on over to Birdman. Birdman, you've got Arkansas and Oral Roberts.
Oh, dang. Arkansas and Oral Roberts. Arkansas.
You taking Arkansas? All right, let's go to Bromel. You've got Michigan and Florida State.
I take Michigan.
Got Michigan. All right. All right, there we go, Michigan. Stats. You've got Loyola and Oregon State.
Ooh, Oregon State's luck's gonna run out. Loyola's better. I'm going with Loyola.
Oh, you're going with Loyola. Okay, all right. All right. Aggie P, you got UCLA and Alabama.
Oh man. Radar, you can answer this one for me. Who I'm going with, Radar? He got his on mute. Alabama, Big T.
So you go with Alabama.
I like that pick.
Roll Tide.
So you sanction that? All
Yeah,
right.
and
then Rooftop.
Hey, why not?
You got Syracuse and Houston. Who you got?
Mm.
I think you're on mute. Who you got, Roof?
I think he said Houston.
Did he say Houston? You got Houston, Roof? Hey, nod if Houston is good. Okay, Roof got Houston, everybody. So there we go. All right, so that's how we picked the Sweet 16. We're gonna see if they're right. Hey, if you got it right, you get another win added to your tally. If you got it wrong, you get another loss. So there you go.
Alrighty.
All right, let's move on with our shout outs or shut up and play candidates. And we'll go ahead and I'm looking at the screen, so I'm gonna just go how it is on screen. We'll start with you, Brother Bromel. Go ahead. Give us a
I just tell Carolina players shut up and play.
That's a good one.
That's mine too.
Oh, that's yours too, Queen?
Yes, that's mine.
Shut up and play. All right, Birdman, give us yours.
Shout out to you, Big T, for being in first.
Oh, well, appreciate that. You know, these things never last, as you know. You remember. They never last, so you just take it when you get it. Let's go with Aggie P.
Man, my shout out is still the same, Big T, to all essential workers.
There you go. I love it.
You're doing a great job.
I love it. I love it. Stats.
In honor of baseball season, the defending World Series champions, Dodgers. That's my shout out.
Okay, all right. All right, Radar.
To the Aggies. Well, look what I got. I want them to show out for the Big South this year. I want them to show out. That's my shout out.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow.
What's your cash out?
Mine goes to the little guys who devastated and destroyed brackets across America. They turned the 20 upside down. So to all you underdogs that won, hey, my hat's off to you. Hey, for
everybody.
For the Queen, for Radar, for Rooftop, for Birdman, for Stats, for Bromel, for Aggie P, I'm your man, Big T, signing off and saying, no matter where you are, look up and know that your creator is there. Until next time, see ya, and we might want to be you.
That's all we have for you today. So be sure to join us next week for the crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.